Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this news bulletin brought to you live from ZNews Studios with me, Oussama Senouci. Today's top stories. The Ministry of Transportation announces air-conditioned containers are to be added for the promotion of agricultural products exportation. Former Algeria football manager Christian Gokov speaks out and attacks the Algerian Football Federation. According to Amnesty International Group, the world recorded the highest number of executions in more than 25 years in 2015. Hello again. Following the footsteps of its predecessors, the Ministries of Agriculture and Commerce, the Ministry of Transportation announces air-conditioned containers are to be added for the promotion of agricultural products exportation. Hintmin Ras has more details.
Refrigerated and air-conditioned containers to export and ship agricultural products is a new approach adopted by the government instead of the old shipping ways in ordinary containers, preceded by the immediate agricultural products exportation project to avoid damage, a measure that would give way to exportation nationally.
Vous voulez aujourd'hui vendre des produits agricoles. Vous voulez vendre de la pomme de terre.
If you want to export agricultural products, potatoes for example, we cannot ship it into ordinary containers, but in trucks put in ships. When we opened Bijaya Port, or the Port Ridge, it comprised a whole series of trucks. To allow transportation of agricultural products, we talked with our national transporter CNAN to acquire air-conditioned containers to allow the exportation of fragile products.
C'est pour permettre effectivement le transport de ces produits agricoles.
This decision coincided with the announcement of the first agricultural products shipping airport in Algeria, exactly at Qamar Airport in the southern province of Ouassouf, which is considered a brand new experience to further consolidate economic relations between neighboring provinces and Ouassouf, the latter being the leader in potato production, quality and quantity-wise.
Why would we set an organization at airports and ports for operators and agricultural producers? To not worry about transportation, it's between the hands of maritime companies now. All they have to worry about is to find buyers.
Seeing the facilitating measures provided by the Ministries of Agriculture and Commerce to expand the exported quantity in the country. Here is the Ministry of Transportation following in the footsteps of its predecessors to support and liven up the national production, launching a series of measures to support the government strategy in its quest to let go of its hydrocarbons dependency.
The Meteorology and Weather Department in Algeria has said rain will continue to fall across 22 provinces. It is expected that the amount of rain will exceed 60 millimeters, and according to yesterday's weather edition of the department, the weather turbulence will hit provinces of Algiers, Boumerdès, Blida, Tizi Ouzou, Bouira, Tipaza, Ain Dafla, Tisimsil, Chlef, Oran, Tlemcen, Rilizan, Sidi Bel Abbas, Mustaganem, Mascara, and Ain Timshint. In another move by the Ministry of Culture to preserve national cultural heritage, Algeria has signed conventions with foreign studies bureaus. These conventions seek not only to renovate Algeria's most important historical landmarks and ruins, but to form their experience in the field as well. Nadia Kasmi has more in this report.
Algeria has many fascinating monuments and landmarks, ranging from striking natural geographical features to ancient Roman ruins. However, negligence, harsh nature, and absence of renovation culture have unveiled the beauty of these landmarks.
This roof became fragile. It can fall any time. It cannot resist for more than a couple of years.
Even though Ministry of Culture has always revealed new strategies to protect national cultural heritage, results were not always as expected.
We've stopped working on some project as it does not fit these ruins scientific renovation study. The thing that we suffer from is we have a lack of professional renovation studies offices and specialized architects of old heritage. Therefore, we always resort to foreign studies offices which have more experience in this field, including Spanish, Turkish, and Italian, as they have some points in common between our landmarks and theirs, such as El Qasaba of Algiers, some ruins and landmarks in Iran, Constantine, and Gurdaya. Therefore, I don't see that it is a shame if we learn from their experience to develop ours.
Thus, Algerian experts of renovation lack of experience call for serious and quick measures to teach the latter.
Concerning national cultural heritage, we have some conventions with the European Union, which is a continual training. After a week, we will have more training sessions. All what concerns culture is our top priority.
There is no doubt that preservation of one's cultural heritage is very important. It is a witness of where we have come from and where we are.
To local sports news now, former Algeria football manager, the Frenchman Christian Gourcuff, in an exclusive talk to French sports magazine L'Equipe, explained the reasons behind his departure. He said he did not find the convenient environment to apply his philosophy, adding that he lost the Algerian Football Federation's support after Algeria's friendly defeat to Guinea in October 2015. Gourcuff also had severe problems with the Algerian press, as well as the fans who chanted for Gourcuff's president Vahid Halilovic. The Frenchman spoke also about the absence of training centers around Algeria. To some international news now, more than 1,600 people were executed worldwide in 2015, an alarming surge for more than 50% since 2014, according to a report released today, Wednesday, by the human rights group Amnesty International. There were 1,634 known executions in 2015, with 89% of them carried out in Iran, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. It's the highest number of executions recorded by Amnesty International in 25 years. Fatma Mhani reports.
A profoundly disturbing surge in the number of executions in 2015 saw at least 1,634 people killed globally, according to a new report from human rights group Amnesty International, adding that the actual number was probably significantly higher given that there are no definitive numbers for China, where thousands were likely to have been executed, but where the death penalty is a state secret. Amnesty International reports that there was a dramatic 54% increase in executions globally in 2015, with Iran, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia responsible for nearly 90% of the killings. Experts on capital punishment at Amnesty International in Germany said that the number of known executions rose by more than 50% compared with 2014, adding that this development is unsettling and alarming. According to the report, the number of executions recorded in Saudi Arabia increased by 76% to 158. Execution in Iran rose 31% to 977, and the 326 executions in Pakistan were the highest ever recorded by Amnesty International. Concerning the United States, 28 people were executed last year, the lowest number since 1991. Countries that imposed the death penalty are in the minority for the first time now, adding that 102 countries had got rid of the death penalty for all crimes by the end of 2015, compared with 60 countries in 1996.
The UN said yesterday, Tuesday, Syria peace talks will likely resume in Geneva on April the 11th, but regime negotiators will only arrive several days later after the completion of the parliamentary elections in the country. United Nations mediator Stefan de Mistura had previously said he wanted to restart the talks on April the 9th, but noted there was flexibility in the timeline. Before the previous round of talks paused on March the 24th, President Bashar al-Assad's representatives had said they would not return to Geneva until after the elections on April the 13th. The UN does not recognize Syria's upcoming vote and is trying to strike a peace deal that will see fresh general elections with opposition candidates included held within 18 months. Greece has halted its controversial plan to return migrants to Turkey only 2 days after it first began the operation. At least 200 people were deported to Turkey on Monday under the European Union agreement amid the arrival of more migrants to Greek shores. Nadia Kasmi again.
Arrivals in Greece of migrants crossing by sea from Turkey fell sharply today, Wednesday, 3 days after an agreement came into force to seal off a route used by hundreds of thousands of people fleeing conflict in the past year. New arrivals on the Greek islands facing Turkey dropped to 68 in the 24 hours to Wednesday morning from 225 the previous day, data from the Migration Ministry showed. It was unclear if the decline was directly related to the accord. Under the accord brokered last month between the European Union and Ankara, migrants and refugees who use irregular sea crossings in the Aegean to get into Greece are being sent back to Turkey. In return, the EU says will take in thousands of Syrian refugees directly from Turkey and reward it with financial aid, visa-free travel and progress in its EU membership negotiations. Human rights campaigners say the accord is a sham that runs roughshod over people displaced by war. Since the deal was implemented on Monday, 202 people, the vast majority from Pakistan, have been returned from Greece, according to authorities in Athens. Greece has reported a spike in the number of asylum applications of individuals who have arrived since March 20th, the day the first phase of the EU accord took effect and new arrivals were detained in holding centres. Under a newly introduced Greek law, an asylum applications process within the detention centres, which includes a recourse to appeal, lasts about 9 days.
To the United States now, Ted Cruz won the Wisconsin primary Tuesday, a decisive victory supporting the Texas senator's case that he can overtake Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump. With nearly all the voting, Cruz was drawing just under the vote, beating Trump by 13 points. Cruz was receiving 48%, Trump 35%, and Ohio Governor John Kasich 14%. Ted Cruz was on track to collect 36 of 42 delegates available in Wisconsin, winning 6 of its 8 congressional districts. The remaining 6 delegates were expected to go to Trump. Addressing supporters in Milwaukee, Cruz hailed the victory as a turning point in the race of the White House, looking beyond Trump as he set his sights on the general election.
God bless the great state of Wisconsin. What an incredible victory tonight. Tonight is a turning point. It is a rallying cry. It is a call from the hardworking men and women of Wisconsin to the people of America. We have a choice, a real choice. The national political terrain began to change 2 weeks ago. In the state of Utah, we won 69% of the vote, a landslide election.
To world football now, Barcelona ended their local European clash versus Atletico Madrid successfully with a 2-1 scoreline. Atletico Madrid scored first in the 26th minute by Fernando Torres from a group work realized by the latter in Ter Stegen's goal. Torres was later shown a red card to leave the match early. In the second half, Barcelona started strong, looking for the equalizer when Neymar started a counter-attack for a side that ended up with Suarez, who placed the ball into the back of the net in the 64th minute. 11 minutes later, Luis Suarez struck again with a header, this time from a beautiful cross from Brazilian right-back Dani Alves. In Germany, Bayern Munich won 1-0 against Portuguese side Benfica. Vidal took the lead for his team from a header following Juan Bernat's cross in the 3rd minute of the match. Tonight is the second round of the UEFA Champions League. French side PSG hosts Manchester City in Parc des Princes Stadium, whereas Real Madrid travel to Germany to face locals team Wolfsburg.
French side Paris Saint-Germain will host the sole English representative left Manchester City Football Club in the second match day of the quarter-final of the Champions League. PSG made it through to the quarter-finals after beating the other English side Chelsea Football Club for the second year in a row, after beating them 2-1 in each leg. PSG will start this match with a full lineup led by Sweden's very own Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Manchester City, on the other hand, are expected to face a stubborn side with the same ambition. Manchester City reached this stage following their away 3-1 win over Ukraine's side Dynamo Kiev in the round of 16. In Germany, in the Wolves Arena, Wolfsburg are facing Real Madrid after the latter's recent win in La Liga against Barcelona in El Clasico. Although Real Madrid manager Zinedine Zidane said that these are completely two different competitions. However, the 2-1 Camp Nou win against the Catalans on Saturday will definitely shed some light on the team's performance tonight. Real Madrid beat Italian side 4-0 on aggregate, winning 2-0 in each leg, whereas their opponents Wolfsburg won against Belgian side Ghent 4-2, winning away 3-2 and at home 1-0.
Back to Algeria now. He sings, writes and composes not only for himself but for fellow artists who swore by his genius. Young and ambitious Algerian singer Ayoub Mejahed has made of music his life, love and true passion, following in the footsteps of Algerian music scene icons. It's Minaras again.
He's young, he's talented, he's ambitious, and he has chosen music as his lifetime career. Ayoub Mejahed is a triple threat artist. He not only writes, sings, but also composes his own songs.
My penchant for music started when I was 10 years old. Art runs in the family, my uncles are artists, and that's how it all started. When I was 15 years old, I learned how to play guitar, and I've known since that I cannot write and compose my own songs.
With his guitar in hands, Ayoub spends most of his time playing and even breathing music. Art for him is not just a hobby, but an inseparable part of his life. His heartfelt compositions have been sung and liked by many artists.
Writing songs and composing for other artists is no piece of cake. You don't know if they will like it or not. When writing for an artist, I always try to understand their personality. The songs I've written tell the stories I've lived.
On the footsteps of Algerian musical scene icons, this artist follows his road to stardom, hoping someday his voice will be heard internationally.
The end of this news bulletin. Let's have another look at today's top stories. The Ministry of Transportation announces air-conditioned containers are to be added for the promotion of agricultural products exportation. Former Algeria football manager Christian Gourcuff speaks out and attacks the Algerian Football Federation. And internationally, according to Amnesty International Group, the world recorded the highest number of executions in more than 25 years in 2015. With this, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And for more news and information, visit our website and social media platform as indicated at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching and goodbye.